Hi everybody, I'm here with the beautiful Mame Pease. Mame is an amazing lady that I have the privilege and had the privilege of coaching through her grief. When Mame joined the Flow program, she was only 4 weeks into her grief journey. Wow, I was absolutely blown away by Mame's determination and her courage and her resilience to move forward. It was one of those meetings when we had our breakthrough call that I was in awe, absolutely in awe of this amazing, resilient lady. So I'm going to hand it over to Mame to actually tell a little bit of her story and how, after only 4 weeks, that she decided that she needed to reclaim her life and she needed to start rebuilding her life. So Mame, what made you reach out and book your call with me?
And I lost my first husband when I was 42 to leukemia, and I knew the struggles of surviving after that loss and working through the grief. And 2 years after I lost my husband, I met and married Mike, and we had been together for 24 years. And I felt like we'd built a strong financial future, and we had a strong relationship. We'd raised our 5 children together, and I felt like we had a real loving relationship. He was diagnosed with liver cancer in April, and I had a knee replacement in May, so it was a difficult few months. And his disease progressed so rapidly that he passed away July 15th. I was surrounded by family, friends, neighbors, and we gave him the loving send-off that I felt he deserved. And just a few days after his passing, I started getting emails and bills that I didn't know existed.
Yeah.
And I felt like, 2 weeks before he had passed away, I'd had him sit down with me and map out our financial situation. He gave me account numbers, balances, the CDs, retirement accounts, savings accounts, insurance information. So I felt like we had a good roadmap to follow. After his death, and within 2 weeks, I found out it was all a sham. Wow. That he'd been involved in an affair for 3.5 years and had completely gutted our retirement accounts, our CDs, our savings. So when he died, all I really had was $4,000 in my checking account from my most recent paycheck, and almost $100,000 in bills.
Wow.
So I was devastated, because not only had I physically lost my husband, who I dearly loved, but I'd also lost my financial security and had to face the infidelity also. So it was a tremendous blow to me. And I just didn't know how I was going to navigate through my pain. I knew that I could not allow myself to struggle with the grief and the pain, because I'd recovered from breast cancer 5 years previously, and I did not want to become ill again. And I didn't want to become bitter and isolated. So I saw your group on Facebook and reached out to make the call to you, because I knew I couldn't live with that pain. It was just overwhelming.
And that's amazingly brave of you, because a lot of ladies, as you can see in the group, and a lot as we know, remain stuck in their grief for years and years and years and years, and they think that there's nothing else out there. They think that this is the way their life is, and grief becomes their identity. But you didn't allow that to happen. 4 weeks into your grief journey, it was like, right, I've got to put my big girl panties on now, and I've got to move forward.
Yes. Well, I've done this before, and I just did not want to walk this journey by myself. I needed somebody that could give me some tools to deal with the pain and grief. I knew this was more than I could handle on my own.
Yeah. And then, of course, you had all the discoveries as we were going through the program. You had all the discoveries of stuff that was unpeeling, and the layers were coming off of the absolute deceit, and you weren't only dealing with your grief, but you were dealing with the deceit and the lies and the false life that your husband had with you. It just wasn't the truth.
Right. I think even more empowering was what I learned about myself, though, because I was blaming myself for his indiscretions. And I realized that I wasn't responsible. There was nothing I could have done or nothing I did do that caused him to behave the way he did. It was his lack of character. It was his character flaw. Mm-hmm. But I had taken responsibility for my entire life for everyone else's happiness. And I had to find out my core beliefs and rewrite those. I also did a lot of work understanding why I believed those and why I believed the stories I told myself. Mm-hmm. And it was tremendously empowering to mm-hmm. find out that I could rewrite those now that I understood them.
Yes, and that's the flow method. It's finding out your core beliefs. It's finding out your core values. It's finding out the stories you tell yourself, and then rewriting your life.
Yes, and it's been amazing. I was just overwhelmed, almost paralyzed with the grief and anger. I've never been this angry in my entire life because my husband knew how important my financial security was to me and to be so deceitful. We had an agreement that we would both continue working after we had retired. We'd both gone back to work. And for the last 6 years, our retirement income was supposed to have been going into savings. And it wasn't. It was going to support his girlfriend. And that just devastated me to realize that I worked through my cancer treatments. I worked up until my knee replacement. I took care of him through his medical issues and never missed a beat. I just kept going. And for him to be so unconscious about what he was doing to me was it caused me such pain and grief. Yes. So I knew that I could not carry that grief forward without it severely damaging my health.
I remember on our breakthrough call, the first thing you said to me was, Denise, I have to do something. I know I'm only 4 weeks into my journey, but I am so angry that if I do not release this anger, I'm going to not grieve, and I need to grieve for the man that I loved.
Yes, and I have been able to now. I now realize that I was so blessed to have the man that I loved with me for 24 years. Mm-hmm. And he truly did love me. I know that now. I was questioning that because I just kept thinking, you didn't love me or you couldn't have treated me this way. Mm-hmm. But I do know that he loved me the best he could and that he just got derailed for some reason. Mm-hmm. And I had a lot of questions about why did you do this to me? Mm-hmm. And I realized he didn't do it to me. He just did it. And I was the fallout of his actions. But several times during his last couple of weeks, he would tell me, never doubt how much I love you. Yeah. And I just didn't realize what he was telling me at the time. But now I know that he was warning me about what I was going to find out.
Yeah.
And I am so grateful that I had him for the 24 years and that we did share a good life and we did raise wonderful children.
Do you think that if you hadn't have joined the Flow program and worked with me, that you would be in the position that you're in now, the loving, forgiving position, forgiving him for his infidelity, forgiving him and really loving him?
No, there is no question that I would still be consumed with that anger and the just trying to find a way to hurt the other person he was involved with. Yeah. And it was only hurting me because I had a continuous loop going through my mind. Mm-hmm. And I'd created all of these stories about what they were doing. And I had to stop myself from that and just say, wait, you know who he was. You know how he acted. Yeah. And they didn't have a great romance. They didn't have great joy in their life. He just needed something that he wasn't getting in his life. And
But
go ahead.
what an amazing realization for you to actually, after 4 weeks and working together, it's been, if you finished the program now, so it's another 8 weeks later. How long have you actually been a widow?
Oh, 3 months.
3 months.
Right, since July 15th.
Yeah.
And this is October, 13th, so just shy of 3 months.
Just shy of 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
And you can look back at this man that left you no money, that, betrayed you, and you can love him.
Yes.
Do you think that's because in the Flow program we go really deeply into learning to love yourself?
Definitely. And I quit holding myself responsible for his behavior and just realized that I did the best I could. I loved him very well. And he just made mistakes. Yeah. And I can forgive him for that. And the forgiveness is not for him. It's for me. Yeah. And that forgiveness allows me to release that anger and the pain and just get down to the love. And it's not excusing his behavior. I know he wronged me immensely on so many levels, but it's not holding on to that anger, because that anger only damages me. It's allowing that to be released, and I'm closing the book on that whole life, and I'm moving forward in the life I choose to have.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the difference between healing your grief and healing yourself. We have to do the inner journey within ourselves to rediscover who we are. And you've done that. You've rediscovered yourself, and you found a beautiful, amazing lady in there that is resilient, that is strong, that is able to forgive and able to love.
Yes. And a friend asked me, well, doesn't this make you afraid to ever trust anybody? No, it doesn't, because I'm a trusting person because I am trustworthy. And I also realize that I have boundaries now, and I understand my core beliefs, and I'm willing to stand up for them. So no, it doesn't make me afraid to trust or afraid to love. It just gives me the freedom to be so much more willing to have people in my life.
Yeah. It is amazing. I have so many ladies say to me, is it too early to start your program? Do I have to wait a certain amount of time? And you're proof that, you don't wait for time, because time is an illusion.
Right. And it just seems like he's been gone so much longer than 3 months because of the journey that I've taken. And I know that if I hadn't have done this, I've tried other things in the past, counseling or talking with my pastor, and all of those were not effective for me. This has truly given me the peace and the ability to have joy in my life again.
Yeah. And that's the key word, is joy, because we all want happiness, happiness. I want to be happy. I want to be happy again. But happiness and to be happy is outside of us. It's outside of you. Joy is an inner feeling when you wake up in the morning and you're blessed, you're joyful, you're so happy to be alive. It's like, oh my goodness, this world is a beautiful world. That's joy.
Well, just having my gratitude journal and writing in that consistently. Yeah. And at first I was grateful for outside things, but now when I'm writing, my gratitudes are for the work I've done, for the peace I have in my life, for my relationships. The whole shift has been pretty amazing. And my pride book also, what I can brag about. I've done hard work, and I'm proud of that. I'm proud of my influence in my world, and I'm proud of my relationships. So, and just it's empowered me tremendously being able to work through your program, and I'm so appreciative of you.
Yeah, I'm just so blessed to work with you too, because it's changed your life. Like you said earlier, if you hadn't worked with me, you would still be in that pit of anger, eating up at your inside, and already having breast cancer once. The chance of you manifesting breast cancer again with that heavy, dark energy and that anger is high.
Yes. Yes, and I could not allow myself to go back to that.
Yeah, no, 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 no. So what, if you had to say, what in sort of in a nutshell, what was your amazing result while you were in the program? What did you really feel, well, this is my amazing result?
I quit holding myself responsible for everyone else's happiness.
Yes,
I'm
yeah.
only responsible for mine, and they can be happy, they can join my life, but they've got to find their own.
They got to find their own way, because as a widow, we are so conditioned as women to be there for everybody. We were there for our husbands, we were there for our children. You know, I had one beautiful lady say to me, Denise, I even put my dog first. we never put ourselves first. But right now, you are the most important person in your life. You are number one.
Yes, and that's why I've been able to design my budget to fit me. I know I'm in charge of my finances now, and I am not fearful. I can't tell you how paralyzed I was with this overwhelming fear of not having enough. And now I realize I have bountiful amounts of resources. It's not just money, but I have friends that will help me. I
Yes.
have my health. I have my job. My future is what I choose to make it.
Yeah.
And that was so empowering to realize that I do have and I am enough.
Yeah, you are enough. Absolutely. You know, talking about resources, you know, when you joined the program, you were in this absolute muddle of finances. You didn't know which was the way was up, which way was down. But we worked through that. You were resourceful, and together we came up with a plan to help you. You know,
Yes.
so I know a lot of ladies say to, you know, think, oh, I don't have the money, I can't do it, I can't do this. What is your message for them with regard to being resourceful and being able to invest in yourself?
I think that the money I spent on the program was truly an investment, not just in my present mental health, but an investment for my entire future. Because the money that I spent on the program has already been recouped. I've quit just spreading my money and giving to my kids, and that alone is going.
That alone is going to make a huge difference.
And last week I had a call from my son, and throughout he's 50 almost, and throughout his lifetime, 2 or 3 times a year he's needed help,
Yeah,
and he called and he needed help, and I just told him no. And
good.
it was so easy because I'm not responsible for him anymore. You
Yeah,
know, he did figure out how to solve his money problems without me. I was always the easy way.
yep,
And I'm able to do what I choose to do if I want to help my kids. But I can help in lots of ways that don't involve money.
yep,
But it's it's money that I had to spend in order to get the control of my mental health, my finances, my happiness, my health.
yeah,
And I think that anyone that's considering it, it looks like a huge amount of money, but it's nothing compared to what it pays back.
yeah, yeah. It's an investment. You know, sooner or later in our lives, we have to invest in ourselves. I often look at the paradox of me. If I didn't invest in myself, you and I and everybody else, the group wouldn't exist. You and I would not be on this call,
Right.
because it changes your life. When we become a widow, our old life dies with our husbands and our partners.
Yes.
But
Well, and I go ahead.
no, I was going to say, but we try and keep that going. And that's what creates the mismatch, because we can't do that.
No. And I realized that the greatest gift that Mike gave me was my future,
Yeah,
and that he could not sustain the mess that he had created in his life. And I do think that that's why his cancer was so aggressive, and that I now have the ability to go on and lead a rich life, because together we were both just functioning at a mediocre life. And now I have the keys and the tools to unlock a really rich, empowered life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I am so proud of you, and I know you're very proud of yourself. What have other people around you noticed with you? Has anybody noticed a change in you?
Oh, yes. People that I haven't seen for a month or two are just constantly telling me how alive I look, how healthy I look, how beautiful I look, and how happy I am. And I've had people tell me that I should join grief groups, or through the, just giving me this literature, and I'm okay, thank you, I'm doing fine. And it's almost like they don't want me to be as far along in my grief journey as I am, because it doesn't fit with their preconceived notions.
Oh,
But they realize how happy I am, and I've joined a couple of other book study and Bible study groups, and I'm getting out, doing things that I hadn't done, making sure that I'm maintaining relationships that I hadn't spent time on, and just having a good time. I'm okay with having a good time,
yeah, yeah,
and that's a huge step, just to be able to say it's okay. I
yeah.
feel good, and life is good.
Yeah, it is good. And I'm so glad you brought up the expectation of other people on you as a widow, because the conventional method and the conventional way that has been done since the 60s is to wait for time and to go through the 5 stages of grief. Well, you've bucked that trend. You haven't waited for time, and you haven't gone through the 5 stages of grief. So to everybody around you, it's like, oh, it's foreign. It's like, hang on, we've got to pull you back down, and you've got to settle now, and you've got to be the grieving widow. But it's not about being the grieving widow, because it's the love is inside your heart, and it's about you moving forward.
Yes. And I noticed that I was so foggy, just that lack of clarity. And a problem making decisions. Everything was just so overwhelming. And I'm in charge now. I'm, at work, I'm fine. It's just the mental clarity's there. I don't always like the decisions I'm having to make, but I can make them.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I can do the hard work, and I'm not putting things off and just expecting it to kind of, eventually I'll get to it. I'm just tackling stuff and dealing with it.
Yeah.
And that's it, making a huge difference too, in just the not having to worry about things. I know it'll all work out.
Yes.
It'll be okay.
Yeah, but you have the support of an amazing system and method that's really led you through week by week, and
Yeah.
having me there to actually make sense of what you're going through and to help you through that. It's the flow method. It's feel, let go, overcome, and become whole. And you have truly become whole.
Yeah, it feels good.
Yeah, that's great. I'm so proud of you. I really am. And I know a lot of ladies watching this are going to go, wow, look at Maine. She's just amazing. If she can do it, I can do it. What would you like to say to anyone that's thinking of joining the Flow program?
I know you're in a lot of pain right now, and there's so much uncertainty in your life. But with Denise's help and with her program, you can find peace, and you can find the joy that's in your life. Don't accept living a life of pain and that this is all there is. Your life didn't die when your husband died. You still have a whole lot of living left to do.
Yes.
And with Denise's help, you can make it joy-filled, and you can continue making a contribution in your life and in others. Don't accept any less.
Yeah, absolutely. So well said. Ma'am, I'm so proud of you, and thank you so much for reaching out to me. I do believe, and I know that nobody joins my program or my group by accident. No. I don't believe in accidents. We work together for a reason, and with, helping you move through, I know you're going to be able now to help and use the tools that you've learned in the Flow method and the program to help others.
Yes. Well, it's just changed my life, because I had spent 68 years feeling like I was less than enough. Yeah. And the people around me would look at me and think I was doing a wonderful job at my career. I had my degrees that I'd gotten on my own through hard work, but I didn't feel like I was enough. And
Yeah.
through your program, it's just life changing. I've said I wish I'd had this years ago, but I'm so grateful that I have it now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
thank you.
You're so very welcome, because you're starting your whole new life. And that's what we do. We have to start a whole new life and put the old life aside and say, that was then. Draw a line in the sand, and where am I going from here?
Yes. Well, I'm going to Italy.
I know, yes. I can't wait to hear all about that. Ma'am, thank you so much for sharing your amazing story today. And I know that you're going to touch a lot of ladies out there, because this, infidelity and what we find out about our husbands after they pass away is something that nobody really wants to talk about. There's a lot of shame around that. There's a lot of shame.
Yes.
And
it's hard because you can't ask the questions. You can't get angry to them. It's almost like you're betraying them if you get angry after they died.
Yeah. And then the guilt, you feel guilty because, oh my God, he can't, I'm so angry with him, but, and then you've got all these mixed emotions.
Yes.
And it's those emotions that have to be worked through.
Yes.
Because if we don't work through our emotions, they cause disease.
Yes.
They cause disease, they cause illness. It's not just mental, it's physical. Our emotions are felt on a cellular level within our bodies.
Yeah. Well, it's a tough topic. And I felt so alone because we hear and we read about the women who are grieving these wonderful relationships. And I didn't see anyone else saying, did you find out anything that just rocked you to your core?
Yeah.
That it happens.
It happens. I know there was a recent post in the group where somebody had said, did anybody find anything else out? And I thought how appropriate and how timing for you to have gone through the program to be able to reach out to the ladies and say, there is life after that.
Yes. And it was his choice. I didn't cause it. And wasn't anything I could do because, boy, I took good care of him.
Now you're taking good care of you. Ma'am, thank you so much for being on our call today. I really appreciate it. And we had a few technical glitches in the beginning, and I'll post this in the group now. And I know that you are going to empower so many ladies.
Well, thank you.
To move forward and to start thinking about their life and where they are.
Yes. Well, there is life.
Yes. And there is joy. There is joy. Absolute joy.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It's been absolutely amazing talking to you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.